there's trouble, G.I. Joe is there. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe is there. It's G.I. Joe against Cobra and Destro, fighting to save the day. He never gives up, he's always there, fighting for freedom over land and air. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe is there.
G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained Special Mission Force. Its purpose, to defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
He never gives up, he'll stay till the fight's won. G.I. Joe will dare. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe.
Terrorism, this episode of Destructomundo.
It's on, it's on. There's no sound. Play with the rabbit ears.
Parts, incredible as they seem, are not the results of mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria. What do they think we're imagining all this?
Destructomundo. Witnesses to the effect that people who acted as though they were in a kind of trance were killing and eating their victims prompted authorities to examine the bodies of some of the victims. Medical authorities in Cumberland have concluded that in all cases the killers are eating flesh of the people they murdered. Repeating this latest bulletin just some moments ago from Maryland. Civil defense authorities have told you that murder victims show evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers.
Well, I guess we have a big panel tonight.
It's a round table discussion.
Yes.
Except we don't have it's a square table.
Square table, but it's a round table discussion.
Knights of the Square Table.
It's a square table discussion.
It's like the McNeil Air News Hour, only
Wrong.
only less professional.
Geeks with no social life think this part's very funny.
Yes.
That was no, I'm thinking of the McLaughlin group. Wrong.
Yeah, no, not the McLaughlin.
What do you think?
McNeil Air doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Anyway, introduce our panel of experts.
Well, where do we experts even?
Sexperts.
No, we have,
he's a sex
To be honest.
Sexpert.
Well,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
goodness gracious!
Well, I have a neutral voice, so I'm not going to talk
Yeah,
much
we-
anyway, so
you
nobody
didn't hear what he said.
The microphone
don't have to
check
worry
went
about-
really well tonight.
He said
so
sexperts, that's why.
Stuart has a microphone.
It's like a hot chocolate song. The guy's like,
So I won't be
"Sextasy."
I can hear you. You're going to be on the air, man.
All right,
Millions
I'm
of
sorry.
people all over the world.
Dozens
are
of-
going,
dozens
"Who's
of-
this Stuart, lovely
3
man.
people now.
Can I get a poster of him? Laying on the top of a Lamborghini, stretched out in his skivvies.
I've got 10 of them.
I want one.
In this episode of Destructomundo, Stuart dies.
Somebody dies. You just let him know he was Stuart.
Yeah,
Bum, bum,
just
bum, bum.
on Ice Road Truckers.
So start introducing people there. James.
To my left, we have Jeremiah.
your
Jeremiah's
immediate
back
left.
from the last week's episode.
Ahoy hoy.
And Stuart.
Hey.
Stuart is here.
how's it
Stuart
going?
is the inventor of the big-ass bar of soap.
Yeah. It's a
And
dark area.
as among other inventions. What other inventions have you made? You made the
That was
temple.
it. Yeah.
Templor.
Yeah.
the
Kind of like what I'm
Templar.
wearing right now. But, yeah, it was a
Skid mark
miserable
underwear.
failure. You know when the scientist comes outside and he's wearing something on his head, like in Back to the Future? Well, that's me.
Ah, okay. Very good.
That's
So, yes, we have an inventor on our panel tonight. And then
An inventist?
An
A scientor? An inventist?
yeah.
Mike is here. All right, I got 2 bleeps. That's
What?
Per sec.
Yep, per sec.
Per sec
Yeah,
violation.
Mike's here. Mike's here.
I have to be here. I'm crippled. He's watching me.
I'm his handler tonight.
Yeah.
Mike's here bringing us brain damage on the air.
Ages.
There's no rules. Just
Just be in the moment.
I'm in the fuck
Oh.
Oh my
I'm
God! we
laughing
have to
'cause I'm
stop. Okay,
crippled.
all right. Yeah. Yeah, don't do that to me, man. I'll do it right back. And Adam, of course. What's up?
Adam.
Adam's all kinds of thug, man.
Yeah.
You're just so gangster it hurts, man.
Yep. Straight out of Shively.
SLF.
Ixnay.
And of course, Derek.
Yeah,
Nah.
me. I'm still here.
What do you bring? What do you got?
I know you introduce him with, of course.
I was about to say, is he a sexpert like Stewart?
No, I'm not a sexpert like Stewart is. I think we have different areas of sexpertise.
Sexpertise. And then if you may be able to hear through the odd microphone here and there, the lovely Millie is here. Is our barista,
My girlfriend's here, so I have to make
bar
sure
wench.
she's introduced.
Well, she's gonna talk, and you're gonna hear her voice.
Well, yeah, a woman is going to talk.
But we didn't give her a microphone because
Because
She's a girl.
Because girls don't get microphones.
nope.
You can have mine.
We gave you the right to vote, but you don't get a right to say stuff on the microphone.
That's a privilege.
It's
No
like,
privileges.
Well, it's like the Mr. Show Up skit where they have the band of like the people with disabilities. And there's the guy that's got like no arms.
Oh, yeah.
And there's the guy that's just a head, and then there's Sarah Silverman. She goes,
Yeah.
"I'm a girl."
It's like some high school band. Or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
They're like the motivational band.
Yeah,
With
so
the high
that,
school
that was pretty
That's,
funny.
yeah, it's pretty funny.
That's her disability.
I'm a
Anyway,
girl.
back. Well, no, I was gonna say back to the topic, but we never actually got on topic.
No, we never got on topic at all, which is a surprise. Being 6 of us here, you know that you'd think somebody. Would
We had an
let us do
unusually
that
long
topic.
intro.
It's it's definitely the short bus tonight, so we're gonna have to get off. Could you
Could
back
you
on?
leave Mike alone?
No, that had nothing to do.
Shut
with
up!
Just don't start making window licker jokes.
Oh my!
Oh, I think I
goodness
just
gracious.
made one. Anyway,
Something to offend everybody. Destructomundo.
equal opportunity offender.
Yes, indeed. We'll never get sponsors at this rate. No commercials. No commercials because nobody wants.
Sponsored by the campaign to re-elect David Duke.
Brought to you by the American National Socialist Party. We're right, you know. They don't even have candidates. They're just out in the wood loading magazines.
Brought to you by Rahowa Toilet Paper. Or Rahowa Cold
So
Coffee.
I think at some point we're going to talk about something or other.
Yeah, I
Correct?
think so. Maybe.
Okay.
Fictional terrorist organizations.
Not necessarily. I don't think any of them are fictional.
I think
I
they
would
just
go out
want
on
you
a
to
limb
think
and
that
say
they're
that chaos may be fictional.
But we're
with a K.
discussing
Don't
the
ever say it again.
the lighter.
We're jumping ahead of ourselves here.
Okay.
You are the new Ted.
Am I the new Ted?
Yeah,
That's
Ted will
it.
rattle off everything
That's
we're going
it.
to talk about right in the beginning of the
That's
show.
his- that's his
why we
thing.
take
At the end of the
these notes.
show.
And then we won't ever talk about it again because we just talked about it
Yes.
for a second and a half.
Yes,
So you are the next Ted.
That's all, folks.
that's his thing.
The Joe Ted.
Oh,
And then and then you can see James grimacing the whole time, trying to know. And Ted talks about everything we were gonna. He'll no, he doesn't. He says everything we were gonna
yeah,
do.
yeah, he'll make a list and then talk about everything we're going to do. I love
Walking,
Ted.
talking, Cliff's
That is
notes.
good stuff. Yes. Anyway, so what are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about how Ted's going to be pissed off when he hears this show.
I'm sure
No.
Ted's not pissed off. No.
He's
Ted
married
doesn't
with a
listen.
kid. He's already pissed
Ted
off.
doesn't listen to the show. What are you talking about? What kind of pipe dream is that? Ted
Jim's
doesn't-
going to listen to the show and tell Ted.
No, because if
Oh,
Ted's
yeah,
because
she is going to listen.
if Ted's not on the show, she won't listen to the show.
Because you get
Oh,
a, you get a
yeah,
huge
well, okay.
female
We're
listenership.
totally going to get away with this, man. Ted's going to come back
Ted won't
later.
listen. She won't listen. We're cool.
You wait.
Yeah.
A couple years from now, Ted's going to know about it. And he's
Actually,
going to
the
come and
topic
we're all going to be in
seems to be
trouble.
inside jokes, not
Sorry.
We're all going to be in trouble, but it'll be later on.
This can be a
It's
2-hour
gonna hunt
front
us
seat
down
joke.
one by one in the least dangerous game.
So yeah, terrorism.
Terrorism?
Everybody's afraid of it. It's all in the news, of course.
What's so terrifying?
It is.
At least in principle.
Fear-based. I know I'm afraid.
It's a rhythm of me. Or wait a minute, I'm using the wrong half.
But it's any group or organization or person that tries to control others by fear. You know, whether that be having some crazy plan to destroy the world or to destroy a capital city or a major city or an airport.
Any group outside
So it's
of a
anywhere from
government.
blowing up school buses to weather satellites.
Or Inspector Gadget.
Right.
Right.
Like mad.
Yes.
Cobra.
Cobra.
Spectre.
Cobra with a C and Cobra with a K.
Yes. Let's start with that. The MAD. MAD is the terrorist organization that our Inspector Gadget.
Mm-hmm.
It's just run by that one guy with the cat.
Dr. Claw.
Don Adams runs into a lot of terrorist organizations.
He does,
doesn't he?
indeed. Don Adams is our
various
number one
incarnations.
counter-terrorist specialist, apparently, because he's able
Well,
to
yeah,
deal with all
apparently.
of it. Ooh. As Tennessee Tuxedo, he was able to deal with
Stop the walrus problem.
That's right. Chumley.
Chumley was a deep cover
Second
mole.
time he's come
Yep.
conversation
Deep cover walrus.
today.
With what?
Second time he's come up in conversation today.
Yes, right.
Don Adams or Tennessee Tuxedo?
Don Adams
Chumley.
and
Or
Chumley.
Chumley.
And Chumley.
Would you have a fat friend?
What are we going to
A
walk
lot of
tonight,
that, bro.
Timothy?
Won this show.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I'm glad this isn't video because I think I would have got a pummeling.
Oh my. Oh my. Jocularity.
Wow, we digressed.
No, we haven't.
No, not at all.
So we were talking about Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, and I mean, the MAD organization would always do something, and then he would be thwarted by the combined
A little
efforts.
girl and a dog.
I think it's
right.
Those were the real freedom fighters.
It's it's always kind of strange to me that a lot of all of those sort of fictional organizations with the acronym names, they don't really seem to have like a clearly defined goal.
No.
Or they don't have a manifesto. They don't like have this thing they want to do. They just seem to be like the perpetual bad guys. You know, whether it is like Chaos or Thrush or Spectre or Cobra. Like in G.I. Joe, Cobra, they in the intro it says they're the ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world. But they never really seemed to be trying to take over the world. They were always just like fucking with something.
Well, they've already got Cobra Law.
You know what I mean? They were always like but they're more like just this private army thing, and they never really.
Yeah, they never really seemed to
They
try to take over a country.
weren't trying to take over the world. No, they were just like
they put a base in the Antarctic or interrupt Mardi Gras.
You can figure out what they were like.
It was never like
anything. Something would be going on, and
know,
Cobra would be trying to mess with.
Yeah, or they're like they're in Africa in the lost city with the white apes, and they're trying to steal the diamonds or something. You know,
Yeah.
You're
Right,
like, what's
right.
all this got to do with taking
It's all part of a bigger
What is this?
plan
And the
that
Indian
G.I.
guy
Joe
lands
has
a
in the
jet.
works.
You know, in the wild like tracker guy. What was his name? The Indian guy with the.
It's like something foot.
Spirit foot or whatever.
Foot or something.
I think his name. I think it's Spirit lands the F-15 in the jungle, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? This doesn't make any sense. But even but with all those organizations, they don't have a clear cut like. Well, like Spectre and the T in Spectre stands for terrorism, but they didn't really have a campaign of terror.
No.
They were sort of like just a sort of super criminal organization. It was mostly about
stealing things
and just money.
It was. I mean, you figure that the whole point was to finance some sort of like world domination, but it never seemed to like.
Yeah, they never really.
I guess their financing kept getting interrupted, and they never really got to the big plan.
They didn't get enough money to try to take over.
Well,
the world.
I mean,
taking over the world is expensive.
It is.
Yes.
And I mean, you have like your type.
Could you imagine like Destro standing on Preston Highway with a boot? like
See, that's a good place to start. You got these guys, and they're all
change
over the
for
world.
world domination.
We have in our own
Not a bad
country
idea.
people that sell weapons to the government. They make weapons for the government. You have like Northrop Grumman and Lockheed and all these companies, and they're legitimate companies. If and they make weapons for the United States Army, and they go, hey, we got this plane, and we're going to sell it to the Army. And what do? The government buys them. So
they have trade fairs.
yeah, they have trade fairs,
And then
but they won't buy the glider and
that bubble thing that flew that had a machine gun attached to it.
the bubble thing with the machine guns,
And the motorcycle with a Gatling gun sidecar.
Yeah, and the
that
tank
was so
with the big
awesome.
neck
The Army
on
didn't get
front.
that one.
Yeah, but they did buy the A-10. Remember the Cobra's A-10?
Yeah.
That was the best.
Except,
But
But it was like a VTOL.
yeah, except
A10.
the wings rotated.
Yeah,
for vertical.
they got the VTOL
Yeah.
A-10, man.
Yeah,
And they have the
Cobra's up there.
snowmobile with
They
the
got
machine
those
guns on the
Yeah.
front. The
Exactly.
Army doesn't
There's
have
all
those.
kinds of weaponry that went
weird
along
like
with that.
that kind of tank half track thing that had two guns at the top and no guns anywhere else.
Yes.
Or the
Right.
That's
tank
very
that
practical.
Had the tank that had the big glass canopy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best thing. Yeah,
Let's
that's
see
what I'm
what's
talking
going
about.
on.
It's got the big long neck on the front of it where they sit out in front of it and ride around.
Yeah.
With a standing army the size of the United States, and free trade, they're going to have to contract out some of that.
Yeah, I mean, there's that guy. What's that dude's name?
Who?
Boot. Victor Boot.
Yes, Victor Boot.
Victor Boot is had some stuff to do with present military actions. 'Cause-
Anything and everything going on.
Yeah, because I mean, the guy's got he runs the whole deal over in
He's
in North Africa.
considered to be the single largest arms dealer in the world today.
Right.
Well, this is real
He
stuff.
has, well, yeah, but I mean,
But
it
in
is
principle.
still- in principle, I mean, this guy's like
He's like a real version of Destro.
yes,
Yeah, the real
except for he
Destro.
doesn't have a cool metal head.
Yeah, the middle head was
That you know
really
of.
And he doesn't
Yeah,
get
that I
to.
know of.
Have
He
you
doesn't
never
get to
seen
bang
Victor
the Baroness.
Boot?
The
No.
Baroness is
Maybe
hot.
Victor Boot has a metal head.
Yes.
I don't know.
He wore
I've
that
never
cool
seen it.
vest
Yeah.
with his chest all
Yes.
showing
And that
big.
red
And he hangs out with Major Blood and the
Amulet.
Baroness.
The Baroness is
Oh,
hot.
Baroness is
The
hot.
Baroness
Those
is super
glasses, man.
But who was hotter, the Baroness or Scarlet?
Baroness.
Baroness?
Yeah.
Baroness.
I don't know, that
Bad.
big...
And I'm
that,
all about
Why don't you just say the
bad
Baroness or
girl.
that
Gung Ho?
super thick accent. I don't know.
The Baroness or Shipwreck.
Baroness or Dusty?
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Shipwreck. He was a hello, sailor. Never took that hat off and those gloves. Oh, it's good stuff.
That's right.
Before I slip into my early times in Mountain Dew stupor.
Oh, my
Does anybody
God.
remember what DNA they used to make Serpentor? I know it was like Alexander the Great and Napoleon, but there was like two
I think
or
it
three
was
more.
Caesar.
Oh, that's right. I
Caesar,
forgot
wasn't it?
about Serpentor.
Yeah.
And Caesar, it was I think it was Genghis Khan, but it could have been Kublai because they did something around the
Yeah.
Great
I
Wall of
remember
China.
Alexander the Great, and I remember Napoleon. But
I wanna say
Napoleon was
Caesar.
part of
Julius
Serpentor?
Caesar, I think.
Oh my
Why wouldn't
goodness.
he be?
I think Julius
Well,
Caesar.
Yeah, and it was one of the cons.
One
and
of the
then
cons.
Yeah, that's right, because they went around
there
like
was also
stealing
a
the
Chinese
bodies
guy,
and
too.
or getting
Really?
DNA from them, and then they tried to stop them, but
was
they
it Mao?
were too late.
The guy, the first emperor,
yeah,
Punchy or whatever his name
I
is.
remember it was Sun Tzu. Actually, they
Cash my check.
Cash my check. Cream us on the guy.
General Powell's chicken.
Yeah.
Okay.
it was General Powell. No, I really actually do think it was Sun Tzu also.
Really?
Sun Tzu?
Yeah.
They give him anybody a little more modern. Give him like an
I don't
Otto
think so.
Skorzeny or
Hitler?
anybody.
Mussolini.
No, it was people who had like pulled
People who were
successful
good.
military campaigns.
People who were good.
Right.
Okay, anyway.
Rommel or somebody.
I don't think so.
Bommel?
Yeah.
Boring?
That's another thing that was like talking to
Bimler?
my wife about is like
Chisolini?
how many German shepherds in America do you think are named Rommel? I was thinking tens of thousands.
Yeah.
Could be tens of thousands. I don't know.
Because she talked me out of it. We're going to get another dog once we get this house. And I told her I was going to name the dog Rommel. And she said there's probably a million dogs named Rommel. So I think I'm going to name it Skorzeny instead.
My sister's friend had one named Kurtz after Colonel Kurtz.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I mean, it's terrible.
But yeah, you got guys that sell weapons to these organizations like Victor Boot and Destro. and where do they get their where do they get their weapons from? Where do they do they design them? Do they have does Cobra Commander go? You know what I'm really looking for? I'm looking for a tank with a big bubble on top.
I need a plane. I need a plane like an A-10.
Just make
but
the
it
bubble
needs to go.
and put
I need a really
and I want it to
slow
fly.
gunship that can take off vertically.
Yeah.
I mean, with that kind of random crap, they had to do everything.
And they had that
in-house.
little. They had
I'm
that
gonna
little.
need some gliders.
They had that little. that little helicopter that had no canopy. Where you just sat in it. It was like an auto gyro with machine guns on it.
Yeah,
there was. Remember? There was Zartan and the Dreadnoughts. The swamp guys.
Right. Yeah, the Australian.
Yeah, and Zartan's.
mercenaries.
And Zartan's.
This is for my guy who has the chainsaw gun.
And Zartan's sister in the cut off tank top. And the short shorts.
Yeah.
She had the pink hair. She was Trailer Park Hide. So. Not that that was a comment, not a criticism.
Was the first action figure to get a tan.
He had the cool
out in the sunlight.
If you got hot or cold, his face changed color. But
if he was in the sunlight in the show, he would be like.
But the actual action figure, if you stuck his head in cold water, he changed color.
Right.
Yep, it's that cool.
It was that magic plastic from the 80s.
Yeah.
Like those T-shirts, those. What are those things called? The hypercolor T-shirts.
Those
That,
are like the
bought them
90s.
and brand new. They would change color, and then
Like a
the
mood
first
ring.
washing, they were done.
New T-shirt.
Get your mood
Hypercolor.
No, but
they all
but-
said hypercolor real big on the front. So
But yeah, I mean
We'd never
those
forget.
yes,
those sort of organizations they don't really fit with the sort of contemporary. What most people think of nowadays when they think of terrorism and then the terrorist campaign.
No.
That's what I mean. They never really have a clearly defined sort of objective. They just seem to be
evil,
anti everything that we think is good. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, that's what we're being told.
Yeah, they're sort of they're just sort of
they're against our values.
Yes. But I mean, and everybody, and all back in the day, obviously, and Bond had Spectre, and Uncle had Thrush, and Control had Chaos, and all that stuff.
Right.
They were always just the sort of nebulous evil organization, and I mean, some of them seem. I don't remember the details as much about. I watched Man from Uncle, but Thrush they never really seemed to say much about. Thrush was just sort of the bad guys. Obviously, over the course of the Bond films, you get a pretty good idea of how Spectre works.
Right.
And they're seem to be very efficient, very well organized, very a well sort of set up kind of internal bureaucracy almost of the way they operate. But they have that sort of.
They had some cool layers too, man. If you walked into the offices of Spectre, and you had to cross a bridge. With piranha in the water
over the tank
beneath
of piranha,
you, and you fucked up that day, or the day, you were going in there because you were about to get reprimanded for screwing up. Your ass was scared.
Well, that's the thing is why I don't think it worked. That's why I like Globex and Hank Scorpio worked better.
Scorpio.
Hank
Scorpio.
Because he treated all his employees really, really well.
Yeah.
He paid them well. He set them up in nice homes. There were 3 different places you could buy hammocks. It was the perfect setup. It was exactly how an organization that wants to rule the world should be run, because everybody was pitching in with everything because they were all treated really, really well.
Hello.
Yeah, that's Hank Scorpio had the whole thing going. I mean, because he was in Shelbyville, wasn't he?
No, I think he hit his own volcano lair somewhere.
Did he have a volcano?
Well, he had that
because
they moved away, and the whole deal was
that
Homer's family was having a bad time, but it was the perfect job that Homer ever.
There's that sort of corporate suburb where they all live. And
yeah,
is that the one where he buys Tom Landry's hat?
Yeah, he buys Tom Landry's hat, and then as a I guess a severance pay or whatever, he buys Homer the Denver Broncos.
Yeah. He's like, oh,
nice.
It's not the same. You just wouldn't understand.
But
I think Hank Scorpio was probably the ultimate of the because apparently in that episode of The Simpsons he takes over the entire east coast of the United States.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's a positive
Yeah.
attitude.
And he had several different devices. There was like that laser that I think Homer was working on. Plus, there was like a weather machine, and unlike all the other organizations, when they captured the spy, he like escapes, but Homer tackles him, and then they shoot him with machine guns in the face over and over again, instead of putting him in the elaborate death trap. Because the elaborate death trap didn't work.
Yes.
Homer tackles him.
Or where you have to like. You're getting ready to kill them, but you have to tell them your plan before you kill them.
Exactly, because that's in the rules.
Yes. I'm getting ready to kill you, but first I'm going to tell you all of my plans.
Well, then you have like true like believers, like Drax, who was all about like taking a bunch of people into space and living on a space station, and then poisoning everybody on Earth.
Yeah.
Start
over.
He could start over.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not really so much terrorism as it is. Because I'm pretty sure that nobody ever found out about that. Like I'm pretty certain in Moonraker that they didn't tell the Earth that they narrowly avoided having a guy poison the entire planet and kill everybody off. So it's not. Yeah. Is it terrorism when they don't try to scare you, or are they just doing something scary behind
that's
your
what
back?
I mean. Like that's what I was. Yeah, I mean that's what I was kind of getting at. Like those people, they're often sort of considered to be these terrorist organizations, but they don't really actively engage in a campaign of terror.
Yeah, I mean the whole point of terrorism is like it's not that you're blowing something up; it's that you're trying to scare everybody, that to convince everybody that you're going to blow something else up afterwards,
or that anywhere they go on any day of the week, there's a really serious possibility that something could blow up near them.
I'd say Cobra was more of a terrorist organization because,
or even Chaos with the nude bomb.
Yeah,
that's right.
But that kind of stuff. But I mean, a lot of them that are considered that way, they don't. They seem to be just sort of agents of
anarchy.
Yeah, just sort of like they're anti, the government control of things and the organized.
I think that was a bigger fear at the time than.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the same.
Well, I mean, at the time, with like the Soviets, the big scare.
Well,
and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but in the James Bond books, wasn't it Smersh? And they changed it to Spectre in the movies because they didn't want to like agitate the Soviets.
Well, no, Smersh is a different thing.
Yeah,
because I remember reading,
I
remember some.
Whole goal is to kill
well, see,
spies.
I remember reading some James Bond book where Smersh was like the organization that James Bond was going against.
Is a real
but in the movies, I know it was. Well, it's pretty much petered out after World War II.
Yeah,
because it was they used them to
no,
hunt out spies and German sympathizers and stuff like that in World War II.
Yeah, Spectre is in the books.
See, I don't remember Spectre.
They're
being
in some
the
of the
book.
books.
But like I said, I only read like one or two of the books.
They're in. I think the first time they're named is like Thunderball, maybe.
What does Spectre stand for?
The Special Executive for Counterintelligence, Terrorism, Revenge, and Extortion.
Revenge and extortion.
Yes. That is what Spectre stands for.
So could you hire Spectre to do a job for you? I mean...
shoot the dean's horse.
Probably, in theory, yes.
In his office.
Wow, that's cool. I mean, how do you get a hold of them?
But I think the counterintelligence, like you could
Revenge.
You could get Spectre worked against the intelligence agencies of other countries. That was their counterintelligence things.
Yeah. And
then they had the terrorism aspect, and then I don't know if you could hire them for revenge. Obviously, like they were big on revenge because, like in From Russia with Love, they're all bent on getting Bond for what he did to Dr. No.
Right.
And then stuff like Thunderball is all about extortion. They steal the 2 atomic bombs. And they're like, you pay us.
I thought a lot of what they were doing was like,
blow up these.
I guess their big theory was that you get the 2 superpowers to fight each other, and then after the 2 superpowers waste themselves, they
that's
attack the weakened superpower.
That factors into several things. That's part of From Russia with Love. That's part of You Only Live Twice.
Wasn't there like a scene in one of the books? I don't know if it was in the movie where there's like the 3 Siamese fighting fish in the fishbowl.
That's their principle of like you let the 2 strongest fight each other, and then when they're exhausted, the other one comes in
and takes care of the other.
That's how Spectre works.
That was their whole.
Yeah. But I mean,
that was their business plan.
But as to whether or not by modern, that's what I mean. But like by modern standards, they don't seem to really engage in.
I would say
what we would call a war of terror. But I think the sort of the terrorist aspect is just sort of like the anarchic violence aspect of it. They're just sort of destabilizing. They're a force of like destabilizing everything that we consider to be good and normal.
I'd say Cobra's a good example of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cobra was probably the closest thing to a terrorist organization because what they did worked. I mean, when Cobra was mentioned, even among in the G.I. Joe universe, I mean, even among normal people, everyone was scared of him.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, it was Cobra. I mean, how could you not be scared of Cobra? But they couldn't shoot for shit.
Well, that's like
well, in the cartoon, in the comic book, they did a pretty good job of whacking people.
Yeah, but I mean, they were just this sort of like, they were this force of like, they were anti, the establishment sort of thing in the greatest sense. They were, anti, the government and peaceful, organized society. They were this thing that was just going to destabilize all of that and send everything into bloody, horrible
I think the real
chaos,
problem, I guess why we don't have organizations like that, it's once you get into that whole money-making territory and, you're making enough money as Cobra Commander to, like, live in a nice mansion, you're not really all that concerned about blowing stuff up anymore.
Well, and Cobra also did everything in-house, too.
Yeah.
I mean, as opposed to
they had their
almost
own
anybody else.
Had their own ninjas.
Yeah, but they did kind of, they did hire the Dreadnoughts to do stuff. I mean, the Dreadnoughts weren't part of Cobra. They were like a mercenary group that Cobra hired to do.
Cobra Commander.
Well, they had the Crimson Guard. They were their kind of...
The Crimson Guard, weren't they like the elite?
They were
the twins.
Yeah, who were they?
Zaymot and Tomat.
Yeah, yes, that's right, that's right.
They were like businessmen?
Yeah, they were like businessmen, acrobat, psychic twins.
Gay psychic twins.
Gay psychic twins.
They
weren't
had
all twins gay?
Didn't they have like the whole Corsican Brothers thing where one of them?
Yeah, one of them like
the other one,
one of them got kicked in the balls, the other one fell down.
Yeah. Very.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Good stuff, Pat.
It was strange.
Not that any of us ever watched that.
Can you imagine when they're growing up? Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
Oh, you bastard.
Ow. Why does that hurt me? Stop hitting yourself. That's awesome.
Of course, I can think of it as like Cheech and Chong.
Terror.
Yes, that is
Cheech and Chong and Donald Sutherland and Gene Wilder.
Wow,
they were the Corsican brothers.
Good stuff.
But Cobra Commander is pretty,
insane.
up on things, guy. Well, yeah, he was, of course, insane. I mean, he didn't want anybody to see his face. Was he disfigured, or was he just trying to hide behind? Because he had the
in the comic book when he took his helmet off, he looked exactly like all the Crimson Guard.
Yeah,
like all the Crimson Guard are like clones of Cobra Commander or something like that.
Really?
In the comic book,
they insinuate a lot of cloning.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, I mean, they made Serpentor. I mean,
he had the big chrome,
it's nothing but cloning.
Face.
Because Serpentor, there was like the army of snake guys,
and he had like the snake helmet over his head, and then there was the one guy that had like the laser eye and like a snake's body. That's just ridiculous.
Once the show got totally out of control.
Yeah. Serpentor was kind of weak. I mean, he had the great outfit though,
and he had that cool flying snake hover cart thing that he flew on.
Was totally useless
because he was like
he had the fine breeding. I mean, if he was a racehorse, I'd have bet on him, but he just never seemed. He was almost as ineffectual as.
Well, and the movie should allow.
He would get so angry when plans would fail. He would just go.
Yeah. Also, like the fact that he could do that like Thulsa Doom thing with like snakes, where he could straighten them out and throw them.
Oh, was he like Thulsa Doom?
Yeah, I remember he was able to straighten out a snake and throw it.
He isn't quite as charismatic as
nobody is charismatic.
Nobody is.
Thulsa Doom is like
no, he's more of a religious zealot than like a terrorist.
But I mean, hey, we're dealing with some like.
I still maintain that movie as a treatise against National Socialism.
Really?
And the cult of personality.
The cult of personality is a part of terrorism, man.
Yes.
You can't deny.
Yeah. It is. I mean, in a way, within the world of Conan the Barbarian, Thulsa Doom I could see being sort of considered a terrorist.
The Hyborian Age?
Yes, in the Hyborian Age, in the world of Conan the
Barbarian. It's our world.
Yes.
But just a long time ago.
Yeah. I could see, because Thulsa Doom is that sort of destabilizing force to everything that is considered,
And it was, what was it, the Church of Set or something like that?
The cult of Set.
The cult of Set.
The towers. Yeah. But I mean, that whole thing of like what he represents is anti, law and order, basically.
Well, I think everything, all the really scary things post, Golden Age America, it has to be destabilizing of something, and I think there's some groups that represent that better than others.
UPS.
UPS, sure.
Free Quebec.
Well,
one of North America's largest terrorist organizations.
The Quebecois Resistance.
Who make a habit of blowing up like mailboxes and cop cars that don't have any cops in them. They're like
and
they're the terrorists who stick their pinkies out when they do something.
Maple syrup farms.
Yeah, it's
out in the Canadian wilderness.
Yeah, it's
they're going to cut off our syrup supply.
Well,
for syrup
like in that movie Canadian Bacon, where they rolled up into Canada, truck, and they had like all the Canadian they were like making fun of Canadians on the side and stuff, and the cop pulls them over and makes them spray paint all the stuff in French.
Yeah. On the other side of the car.
On the other side.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have a good day, eh? That's
you know, they actually say that killed me. When we went to the family vacation to Toronto, we pulled into the gas station, and me and my brother probably watched Strange Brew 1,000 times.
Oh, I love that.
We even were steamrolling each other in the back of the van.
Steamroller.
And we get up there, and the gas station attendant comes up and sees the license plate and walks up to my dad and is like, "On holiday, eh?" And as soon as he said "eh," me and my brother were laughing so hard we were crying. My mom's like, "You two be quiet back there." I'm like, "No, he said "eh." He said "eh."
Call him hoser.
See, that guy was
join the dark side, you nub.
Max Moncito in Strange Brew could be considered a terrorist.
Certainly.
Meister
Smith. Yeah, because he had the whole plan of making the hockey music turn people against.
The beer had mind control drugs.
Yeah, mind control drugs in the
beer.
That's right.
King Osric the Usurper.
That'd be the end of Destructomundo right there if they put mind control drugs in beer.
He was Osric the Usurper.
He was Osric the Usurper. Max Moncito plays great terrorists.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yes,
speaking of great terrorists, how about Invasion USA?
Good stuff.
Oh my God!
I remember the scene where he's on the dirt bike and he pulls up next to the school bus and puts the limpet mine, or he pulls the limpet mine off.
And he pulls the limpet mine off and sticks it on the truck the terrorists were driving.
Yeah,
that movie that movie was ahead of its time.
Any movie where the good guys ride motorcycles is great.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the greatest counterterrorism force ever made.
The one and only Megaforce.
Megaforce. How can you deny? Hell, they popped wheelies and they had rockets on their bikes that would fire.
They wore gold
wheelie,
and headbands. Megaforce.
Describe that Jeremiah just cheers
because the good guys
with my Mountain Dew in early times.
In the 80s.
I am a hillbilly.
There's only something in the line. There's only two ways that you ever hear about Megaforce, and one is if their scouts come looking for you, like if they're scouting for you as talent, and then the other way is if you wake up in the middle of the night and they're blowing up your shit. Something to that effect. That's there's only two ways you find out about
Destructomundo on some LA prison's computer.
Yeah. Lonely people. Are we really that bad? Are we the Lonely People show?
I don't know. No. Our listeners are the creme de la creme.
The finest fine people.
They are indeed.
Everyone is awesome within the sound of my voice.
They're both really good people.
They're both, yeah. They're a couple stand-up fellas.
Well, we're going to take a break here, and we'll be right back after these messages.
From the American National Socialist Party. They're right, you know.
Variant Frequencies, your speculative fiction dial. Find us at www.variantfrequencies.com. Variant Frequencies is a podcast that stretches the entire bandwidth of genre fiction, modulated by a constant element of the fantastic. Every month, we give you a new story, so tune in, turn the volume up, and let some of our weird carrier waves distort your reality for just a little while.
From my spider hole in Gilbert, Arizona, this is the Truth Seekers Podcast. I'm Danny, your host, moderator of the Truth Seekers message board on Rise.com, and legend in her own mind, inviting you to join me as I continue my search for truth in audio form. Each episode, you will get headlines from different places around the internet world, along with commentary, interviews, and guests, all geared towards widening your perspective and guiding you in your own endless search for truth. Come on over to audioaddict.libsyn.com and join me here in the spider hole. Trust me, there is room for all seekers here, but no room for closed-mindedness.
Okay, we're back with terrorism. You know what? The best terrorism, though, is the because it's always the best terrorism is always from
Dr. Goldfoot, the bikini bomb.
Yes, Dr. Goldfoot. Oh
Dr.
my God,
Goldfoot
I forgot
and the
all about Dr. Goldfoot.
No, it was the girl bombs.
Oh, it was the girl bomb.
There was the bikini machine.
Bikini machine.
And the girl bomb.
Girl bomb.
And the bikini machine.
Yeah.
That was
that
from?
That's
the movie. There's two movies. Vincent Price
as Dr. Goldfoot
as a mad genius.
Yes.
Bent on
domination
Mad genius.
or making girls' bikinis blow up. I can't remember which.
Well, no, the girl bombs were female robots.
Well, wasn't that like kind of the impetus behind like the Austin Powers like fembot thing?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, they were female robots who were like sent out to kind of seduce and take over or sort of influence these important individuals to like sign over all of their belongings and everything to them, and then the guy would mysteriously die, and then Dr. Goldfoot would, because he was the controller of the fembot, basically.
Is that a Jewish last name?
Goldfoot?
Goldfoot.
Goldfoot.
Goldstein,
Goldberg.
Goldstein, Goldberg, Goldbaum, Goldblatt, and O'Brien. That's a Three Stooges joke.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a Three Stooges joke. The law firm: Goldstein, Goldberg, Goldbaum, Goldblatt, and O'Brien. I was thinking of the Marx Brothers, which is the Mahungadunga, Mahungadunga, and McCormick, which is the other law firm. But
Turner Head and Cough.
But yeah, Dr. Goldfoot was he was.
Do we cheat him and how?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Was there one of those organizations in like the Flint movies?
The Galaxy.
Galaxy.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Flint works for. Who does Flint work for?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, I do not know.
Oh man, I cannot. I should know.
Flint works for.
His first name is Derek.
Yeah, it's Derek Flint.
Did
you all know his first name?
He's like the only cool guy in movies ever named Derek.
It's that James Bond, it's Jeremiah Bond.
But
James Coburn is a secret agent.
Shit, who the
Jeremiah
fuck?
Coburn.
Who the fuck does?
You know what? I can't remember what he works for.
Who the fuck does Flint work for?
I don't know.
Oh man, I'm so close.
Who does number 2 work for?
I should send one of these microphones.
Courtesy
to my dad
flush.
and just call
Yeah,
him.
courtesy flush, man.
All I'm thinking of is Mad Helm and Ice
Yeah.
with Dean Martin. Well, actually, those books are actually really the Mad Helm books were actually the American sort of counterpart to the Bond books.
But they're played straight. But when they had Martin play them,
the books are very straight.
Yeah.
But the Mad Helm movies with Dean Martin are a total joke.
Right.
He works for ICE and he's fighting against the Big O. That's what they're called, Big O.
So am I.
We're all fighting the Big O. Damn you, Big O. But yeah, I can't think of. Oh man, I'm gonna think of it at some point.
Which reminds me, you saying Big O reminded me of anime. Actually, Gundam
reminded me of tires.
You see, all the guys in Gundam Wing. Derek and I will be the only ones talking about this. I guarantee it. All the guys in Gundam Wing are basically terrorists.
It is.
Yeah, I don't.
Gundam
came
Wing
to like upset
is,
the government of the world.
Yes.
The only terrorist organizations from any anime I've seen apparently are tentacles.
And you should be afraid.
They do very, very bad things. Those tentacles aren't very nice.
Yeah.
No, they do bad things.
They'll sneak into every
Well,
orifice
in
not nice place.
Fighting the Big O.
The puppet master from Ghost in the Shell.
That's right. Yeah, he was more or less a terrorist.
The puppet master is a cyber terrorist.
cyber terrorism is a common theme in
Yeah.
a lot of things. You have like these organizations that, well, and a lot of times they're not necessarily organizations. They're like brains that live on the internet. And
Like Hitler's brain, or
Hitler's brain is a hell of a terrorist, man. I mean, you figure on it. I've always said this. I mean, like, you get like a brain in a jar that is the leader of an organization, and if that brain in a jar, if your worst enemy is a brain in a jar, you are screwed.
yeah. Well, DC Comics, like the Doom Patrol and like the Teen Titans, the brain, which is a brain inside like a little robot body, but it's not even like robot arms and legs. It's like just a skull head on like a pedestal, whose assistant is a French gorilla. Translated like the brain of a French woman into a gorilla, or a French man
What's
into a
the
gorilla.
best of both worlds?
His name is Monsieur Malat.
Oh, nice.
So you got to go up against the brain plus a super intelligent like surgeon gorilla.
That's gold.
See that? Now that's an organization I can get behind.
Oh, sure. That organization's got henchmen.
Henchmen. Gorilla surgeon henchmen that are French.
You gotta wonder. I mean, what kind of experience is necessary to become a henchman? Do you have to have some military experience? Because,
Well, according to the Venture Brothers, you pretty much just got to be like jobless.
Like 20, 21, and 24. Yeah.
I used to be a heroin addict, and then the Monarch cleaned me up. And
I think henchmen,
or like all the guys, on like Batman, they were pretty much just
Baron
your fine feathered finks.
Baron Unterbite is a terrorist.
Well, he's not. No. He is a monarch of a country. He is not a terrorist.
Yes, but he does things.
That's like saying Dr. Doom's a terrorist.
Sort of way.
That's not a terrorist. That's not a terrorist act. That's like an act of like international aggression or something, because he's like a representative of that country. Terrorist groups don't represent countries; they represent causes.
Okay, maybe that's true.
They exist outside the sort of governmental process.
I see. Well, that does make sense.
I mean, there are government-sponsored like terrorists, but I mean, it's a totally different thing because it's not. They're not necessarily furthering the country's goals. It is like the cause's goals, like the destruction of Israel.
Well, but they wouldn't be hired.
Or getting people out of Saudi Arabia or whatever they want to do. But
they wouldn't be hired.
They don't necessarily hire them as they just like, here's a couple bucks, go blow something up, or go do whatever you got to do.
How is that different from hiring?
Well, I mean, that's not really different from hiring, but they're not hiring them specifically to go blow up that specific thing. It's more of, here's some cash, go do what you got to do to like call stuff.
They wouldn't choose that organization however they pay them if it didn't further their own goals.
Yeah. But it's not so much like when, let's say, I'm trying to think. Let's say the Russians give money some money to Chaos because they're messing with the U.S. They don't really care how they do it or what they do it or when they do it. They're just as long as you do it, we're fine.
Right. I love Chaos. Chaos is the best organization ever. With Maxwell Smart versus Chaos.
I can't believe they're coming out with a movie.
Yes, there is a new movie coming out.
Yeah, with Steve Carell.
Yeah, I saw the previews for
That's a good casting for Maxwell Smart.
Yeah, for sure.
Assuming that Evan Almighty was like a blip in the career.
Yeah, I mean...
Apparently that movie's so bad they didn't even bother sending it to Japan.
Really, it's not...
They didn't even like fool with it. They're like, you know what? We're not even going to bother.
Yeah.
Well, I like the Bruce Almighty movie. I don't know. I thought it was funny.
You are brain damaged, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. I just realized
you knew it was going to happen eventually. Somebody was going to say it.
I just realized what I said.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bruce Almighty.
Oh, Lord. I just remember did the terrorist organization film that movie?
No, if Bruce Almighty is a good movie, the terrorists win. You know.
Yeah. Cobras won.
They've won.
I was trying to remember this the other day, and you guys might be able to help. That cartoon mask, who is the organization?
Venom.
That's right.
Venom. They were both acronyms.
There's a lot of cartoon organizations. Like I was watching
Mobile Armored Strike Command.
Yeah, that's right.
I was watching
but I don't know what Venom.
Pants and Barnacle Boy forms his own evil organization. It's called Evil, and it stands for Every Villain is Lemons.
Really?
I don't remember what Venom stood for, but Mask was Mobile Armored Strike Command.
Yeah, Very evil. I can't remember.
I just remember the cartoon was really lame.
That was the era of like cartoons. That was the era when cartoons
figured out about toys.
No, when they really created cartoons as a marketing tool for toys.
Oh yeah.
Like what?
Okay, sorry. The disc ran out. We were recording on a
technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Sorry. Interrupted by Spectre.
We're being jammed. They're jamming our
signal. We haven't done
signal.
this in a while. We took a hiatus and totally forgot how to do the show.
I'm sure the audience is very terrorized.
Meaning James.
Yes. You should have seen the mess we had on the table tonight for the show with 6 microphones. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. No, we were talking about mask, and you were saying it was an entire marketing.
That's like that. That was the era when like cartoons were created as a marketing tool to sell action figures. I mean, like whereas used to, you had a cartoon, and if it did well, then you'd start to make toys. But that was from the era when like you came out with a new line of toys, and the toys had to have the cartoon to go with it to sell them.
Right.
Right.
And a lot of them, I think, it came too late. I seem to remember my sister watching like a Rainbow Bright cartoon.
But
well, yeah,
I watched.
But I mean, Rainbow Bright was around like a long time ago.
But I
terrorizing.
No. Rainbow Bright's terrorists were the ones that were trying to turn the whole world gray,
like the meanies or something. Or...
Yeah, what were the ones that they had?
The Monchichis?
The
Snorks?
It
was the Snorks.
My sister. That's all right.
But I watched Mask, and I think I saw a couple of episodes of Snorks.
I remember they had like
they were like underwater.
This is great for my brother was really into Care Bears and like
Care
Bears. Speaking of terror, and when he did. And when it became time to like pick movies, we alternate. Like one Saturday, like I pick a movie. The next Saturday, I saw both Care Bear movies.
Brutal.
And my dad did everything he could to get me out of having to go see it with them because like Dad would take us because it was like he wanted to do something with his boys, and it was like it's my turn to pick. I want to go see the Care Bears movie. And my dad would be like, "Oh, I think Jeremiah's sick. I think he needs to stay home. He's not feeling good." He's like diving on the grenade for his older son, but Mom made me go anyway.
Way to out a guy. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, he's never going to listen to this. Anybody who's wondering, my brother's like 6'2", spirit bald, and mean as a snake now.
Yeah.
It was all because of them Care Bears.
Yeah, man. Oh gosh!
I just
could still see like the lion shoot like lights out of its stomach and like making somebody happy, and I was just like, oh, I can't take this. And of course, my dad's snoring in the background because he's like out like a light as soon as the movie starts.
Oh,
it was pure torture. My brother is a terrorist.
That was his campaign of terror.
Yes.
To subject you to Care
I
Bear.
think you know what? I bet you if we went over to his apartment right now, he was at work and we broke in, we would find some Care Bears somewhere.
Somewhere hidden.
Yeah.
Well, okay. No, with the cartoons aside, there are some terrorist organizations and that we haven't touched on. Those are more limited, but you have like the ones like the one in the movie Cobra with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
What was their goal, anyways?
I think it
Rutger
was
Hauer.
They were like real, like capital A anarchists. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were like
the guy had the
shake things up.
the knife with the knuckle thing.
Yeah,
on it.
the spikes. Yeah, they were
that
like
you can buy at gun shows.
Yeah, they were like complete and total like disorder.
Nihilists.
Vienna. They come back and cut off your Johnson.
Mormon, man.
I've watched that 3 times in the past 2 days.
Well, yeah, that's going on this weekend actually.
While we're recording this, the Lebowski Fest is going on in our fair city.
But yeah, that was an organization again. That's sort of like total destabilization of whatever we think of like as normal society. They were against anything and everything that we would consider as like normal.
Well, that then there's the best terrorist organization ever, pagan. People against normalcy and goodness. No, people against goodness and normalcy.
That was on Comedy Central like the other day.
Oh, I love that movie,
man.
I got my leggings. You got to get your goat leggings.
Yeah.
Then you dance around and they sacrifice a girl.
It's like comic book terrorist organizations too, like AIM and Hydra. And
AIM,
and
that's
Cobra
right.
with a K and the DC.
And the Idea Men.
The Idea Men.
The Idea Men. Wasn't that from? That's from, who are the guys from, I'm thinking of the guys, but they're from the old school Superman. I think it was the Idea Men. Who are the guys from the
It was like Intergang.
Yeah, it was like Intercrime.
It was like it was Intergang was like the the gang of super scientists that like Darkseid secretly funded.
But there's
to,
the
like,
ones. There's the one.
Trials.
Who are the? There's that episode of the Tick cartoon. The guys that are like all in the,
Oh,
the
yeah.
metal heads.
What is the name?
It's. Do you have the bag with the thing? Because it's on.
It's
back
right
of the,
over there,
DVD.
yeah.
It's like right over there.
But
you,
but I have the DVDs of the Max Fleischer Superman cartoons, which is the only Superman stuff I've ever liked in my life.
Oh, that stuff is awesome. Yeah,
It's
those
good
are
stuff.
great.
Actually,
there's a like the guy.
But
the
there's
Superman Adventures is pretty good too. The one that was like done like the Batman Adventures.
yeah, well those but the Max Fleischer one. But there's the one where he fights the Idea Man, and they're like the super egghead technology guys, but they've all got like the bullet head helmets on, and they're in this like long bullet-shaped rocket car.
It's the Tick versus the Idea Men.
Okay. Well, maybe they have a different. Maybe I'm confusing the names, but that is a like sort of comic version of the guys from the Superman.
From the Max Fleischer, right? I remember those guys.
But they've got like the big steel like bullet head helmets on.
Oh yeah.
And they've got this like long rocket-shaped car. That like it.
That's the whole idea is that they drive that rocket.
Well, yeah,
stuff.
it lands on the ground and it's got treads and then it like jumps into the air and the treads go up inside it and wings come out and it flies.
And they fly it.
And then
stuff.
and then everything retracts into it and it's just like a missile and they drive it through stuff, you know. But they like
the ambiguously gay duo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Try to ram it through the tunnel.
But well, who's their nemesis? The big giant
brain or something.
Yeah,
like
the
that.
brain-headed guy.
Which reminds me, because I was kind of drunk the last time we did this, and I made a factual error. I said Robert Englund was the creator of the Tick, who's actually Freddy Krueger.
Yes.
Ben Edlund is the creator of the Tick. And I want to get that out there before I forget.
So we still haven't figured out who Jackson Public is and whether or not he had anything
other than the Venture Brothers, I don't know what he's done.
The way I understood it, he had something to do with it, but you know.
I've never heard him in relation to the Tick at all.
Destructomundo does quality research for us.
I don't know.
In my offense,
in
my offense, I had already had like a pint of early times by the time I said
I don't know Jackson Public from anything prior to the Venture Brothers.
I think that's a made-up name. I really do.
It seemed like he did something before the Venture Brothers, but I can't remember.
He may have been like a.
All I know is Fetus does the music. J.G. Thirlwell is
he's
Fetus, and that's the best soundtrack on television. Venture Brothers.
Well, it's assuming you don't see reruns of Sanford and Son.
Well,
or Barney Miller.
Barney Miller. You know, my brother
evidently
my brother was driving me from my parents' house to like my house one day, and it went straight from a Resident song to the theme song for Barney Miller. That was like his big CD.
In Aqua Teen Hunger
Force.
Force.
Dealer from remember when G. Gordon Liddy was on Miami Vice playing the arms dealer?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best arms dealer going, man. You got G. Gordon Liddy.
I don't know. You
guns.
can't top Destro.
Yeah,
he's got a metal head.
G. Gordon Liddy would be a great Destro. If they ever made a movie of G.I.
If you could stick that mustache onto his metal head.
Yeah, the big metal mustache. Kind of like when who was the Joker on the Batman TV show? Cesar Romero refused to shave his mustache, so he just painted his mustache white.
Yeah.
Didn't they paint it green?
No, they painted it white.
Did they paint it white?
Yeah, his hair was green. His mustache was white.
Yeah.
See, it would have made sense for them to make his hair green and then make his mustache green.
I mean, come on. You know, it was campy.
Well,
it added to the allure.
The allure
of the
Batman?
of the barrel-chested Batman.
The limited allure.
Yes.
Come on, they danced the Batusi.
That show for me. That shows all of Frank Gorshin.
This was just hilarious.
If there was no
when
Frank
I was a
Gorshin,
kid, I was excited that like Batman would be fighting somebody, and then as I got older, I realized how absolutely hilarious that show is.
If you took away Frank Gorshin, there would be no reason to ever watch it.
I'm telling you, man, Burgess Meredith as the Penguin was perfect.
Egghead.
Vincent Price's Egghead. Excellent.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The only other person who would have been better as well, only Jeremiah will get this joke.
Yeah.
As the Penguin would be Mel Woodman.
Yeah.
He's our former boss.
Just once, I wish Mel Woodman would have called us his fine feathered finks.
Nice. Finks.
Yes.
So yeah, with the that kind of brought me to where we are with terrorism as far as like a single entity goes. You know, like Auric Goldfinger. whose
Right.
main gold was or gold.
Oh, come on.
His
main gold.
Yeah.
Was to gold. The gold.
Gold.
Gold. It's divine heaviness, Mr. Bond. All right, Goldfinger sounds like a French nail varnish. I think I've seen that movie once or twice.
There's a couple of times. Remember, Pussy Galore and her flying circus.
Pussy.
I look like Goldfinger, so I'm going to bring him up in every episode.
There was a guy at the wedding today that looked like Goldfinger.
Oh, really?
My brother said he liked the Kingpin, and I was like, no, he looks more like he's too short to be the Kingpin. He looks like Goldfinger. He was
James Finger.
He was like rotund, and he had this. But anyway, but yeah, well, Goldfinger I could see as a terrorist. Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
he was going to destabilize
destabilize the world.
He was going to destabilize the entire economy
so he would become richer,
of the Western world.
Yeah, but I mean, his ultimate goal was to.
I think that would have backfired. I think when they got that bad, we would have just been, you know what, gold's really valueless. We're going to base it on something else.
Yeah,
now.
we're gonna go ahead and not have a gold standard.
Yeah,
but
gold standard's
they've
gone.
done away with the gold standard already. So
yeah,
it was Roosevelt who did away with the gold standard.
Yeah.
Well, there was Die Hard. Die Hard with a Vengeance, where they try to steal all the gold out of the. All the Die Hard movies, they tried to pretend like they were terrorists, but they.
Well, I thought the new
weren't.
one they were just flat out like internet terrorists or something like.
I haven't seen the new. I don't know.
Apparently, like they won't let you watch YouTube.
Yeah, with the
unless you pay
Vengeance,
them like
they
$5
steal
million or something.
the gold.
Well, they're trying. Yeah, they were trying to destroy. Yeah, they tried to steal all the gold out of the Federal Reserve Bank.
Yeah,
it was the one in New York.
It's the one that does all the international exchange.
Yes,
excellent.
The international exchange.
Because
there were banks from all over the world.
Yeah. They were all those movies are Euro trash.
Yeah, right. You got Jeremy Irons playing, and then you got what's his name? God, what is the guy's name?
From which one?
I mean, other than the Dungeons and Dragons
Alan
movie, has Jeremy
Alan
Irons
Rickman.
played anybody who wasn't European?
What?
Jeremy Irons, has he played anybody in a movie that wasn't European except the Dungeons and Dragons movie?
Oh wow, you had to bring that up.
Oh come on, it's Marlon Wayans' finest performance.
like that saying something?
Wow, it indeed is. You finished that pint early.
You know we're doing this outside. I'm really afraid I'm gonna get struck by lightning.
Yeah, we are. We're outside tonight, al fresco.
This is the first outdoor episode since Rise of the Robots.
That's right. We did robots outside. I thought it was aliens.
Yeah,
but it was robots. Robots was
because we were fighting insects the entire evening.
You should have done Night of the Insect.
There's a lot of anyway,
That's a
robots.
later
Get
show.
it off me! Get it off me! Stuff like that.
Bugs is this season.
Bugs. But yes.
Yes, look
we are
forward to the
outside.
insect episode of Destructomundo.
Yes.
The giant bug episode.
Say it in
That's
a
what
funny
I'm waiting
voice, it
for.
means more.
Yes.
We're just waiting.
So I kick everybody out of the bar. Do my air.
Kind of got attacked by a giant bug last night, man.
Oh
They
gosh,
threw a
here we
ball
go.
at me at the bar that had a bug on it. The bug landed
The
on the side
bug
of my
wasn't
neck.
on the ball.
Where the hell did it come from?
Okay, Destructomundo listeners, James got bit by a lightning bug.
No, it was not
It was a lightning bug. I'm the one that pointed it out to you. I was like, oh, there's a bug on your neck. And the next thing you know, it's like the Andromeda
there's some
strain is
big
like in
old
James
bug
freaking
on
out.
it.
He's
I
flopping on the ground
swatted it.
frothing
It
at the
bit me.
mouth.
And then it went into my shirt.
And then it went to his
And I
shirt.
shook my shirt out, and I
It
thought
went
I'd
into
gotten
his
it out
shirt.
of the shirt.
It punctured
And then
his chest,
later
latched
on-
onto his aorta,
It laid
drained his
eggs in his
blood.
brain.
Later, I felt it on my
Infected you
chest
with bug
walking around,
cooties.
So I went to the bathroom, took
It
my
was
shirt
a
off and
lightning
shook
bug.
it,
So
and I stepped on it. And then I told Jen that I'd stepped on some kind of beetle, and she went,
Some kind of
killed
beetle.
a beetle.
It's like,
I don't know what the hell
except
beetles
for the
do.
blood-drinking mutants.
I know.
It looked like a beetle.
now
I don't
you've-
know
He's
what it
talking
was.
like it's like a
deer
7-hit
wind
dice
or
giant
something.
stag beetle. It was like a lightning bug.
Wandering monster.
Oh my goodness!
It was a
gracious.
lightning bug. The only reason I said it is just because it looked
you
weird on
you
your neck.
encountered a wandering monster.
Oh, you got a weird looking bug on
You
your
got
neck. Like
you
a
got a
regular
bug on
bug.
your
It's
neck.
a weird
You got a bug on your neck, James. Oh my God!
Well, I could
Call
feel
the
it at
National
that
Guard.
point,
It's
and then
them.
it hit
As it was
me.
latching
There was
into
a
your-
mark on the side of
as it
my
was
neck.
latching into
Just
your
stop
neck.
talking about it. Nobody's going to beat the 7-hit dice comments. So just end it.
So
So
you've
you've-
gelatinous cube.
So you've been infected? Are you infected now?
Got bug.
He's going to turn into a
abilities.
cockroach tomorrow.
Do you feel yourself changing, growing stronger,
metamorphosizing,
different.
Yes, in fact.
You're gonna go into your room tonight and metamorphose over the.
I'm going to spin like
Spider-Man's gonna be lightning
wanted
bug
to do
man.
that all day. I've been so tired.
It's gonna be lightning
I
bug
need to
man.
get
He's
my
gonna fly
confused
real
phone.
slow in the
So
sky,
the next day-
and his ass is gonna light up. It's like Rudolph the red-assed
So by
reindeer.
this time tomorrow, you won't even be able to speak like a human. You'll just be like bug.
It sounds like the beginning of a terrorist.
It's metamorphosis, man.
You're gonna metamorphose.
Man, can you imagine being someone terrorizing the entire country as a lightning bug? You're embarrassed.
According to James, the lightning bug did terrorize the entire country.
The lightning bug.
We used that as the
this is the only
episode, but yeah.
I just want to know how you got bit by a lightning bug. That's the best
It was
part.
not a lightning
It was a lightning
bug.
bug.
You have
I'm
no
the one
idea
that
what
pointed
you're
it out
talking
to
about.
I'm the one that pointed it out to you. I was staring at it. I was like, James, there's a bug on your
You
neck.
go, dude, you got a giant bug under your neck, and I swatted it, and it bit me.
The lightning bug
I
with
have
the
a
biggest
bug
jaws
on my
ever.
neck.
on his neck.
I saw the bite,
Yeah.
but it's a lightning bug bite. I mean,
Dude, I
know.
don't think
it
lightning
was
bugs
bigger.
can bite.
you think it was bigger?
I think so.
Oh, Stewart's being nice, James.
No,
I don't know what it was, but it was in my shirt later on, and I had
All I
to
know
take
is
it off.
Bill Holland yelled at me for telling you that there was a bug on you to begin with because he knew you would like take it way out of context.
You're gonna make me bleep out everything. Per sec. Oh my god.
It's not like any of us have.
You can't hide this
secret
from your
identity.
fans,
You
James.
can't have these people being tracked down and
Oh, give me a break. Bill would kill anybody that got near his house.
his trailer.
Or his wife would kill him.
Anybody
I like that house.
house. Well, it's a home. It's not a house, but it's a home.
It's a home.
Anyway.
Oh my god, we've totally went off.
Because Bill's
subject.
going to sue you.
Oh, you said his name.
Oh, yeah, okay, so Bill's going to sue me.
See, this is what
He's still laughing about that little itty
Well,
bitty
you're
bug
going
on
to
your neck that you
distribute it
freaked
so
out
you're
about.
still sue-worthy.
What?
I said you're going to distribute it so you're still sue-worthy.
Oh, that's right. Well, I am going to
Oh,
leave out his
good.
name, but I damn
Well, it even,
Jeremiah
I
made me
mean,
do
he's
some
changed his last
editing.
name so many times, it's probably not even his real last name anymore.
No. Our good, yeah.
Bill Lightning Bug.
Oh well.
All right. We should probably get back on like some sort of like close to topic.
Did we miss anything? Did we miss anything?
Well, let's see.
I'm sure we missed something. We always miss
Well,
something.
we always miss something. That's the whole point.
the point.
Of drinking while we
We're
do
here to
it.
miss. Well, no, I think it's just that. Well, I mean, obviously, I was going to say like just that idea of like as we usually view it through the pop culture sort of
The filter of
the filter of pop culture. Obviously, that sort of aspect of terrorism is very different from what we're subjected to daily on the nightmarish cable news network. But I mean, I guess it's the same sort of. In theory, it is the same sort of thing, but they always seem a little more. They're not so much in your face in terms of like what their goals are. That's what the point I was making about people like Spectre. They never seem to have like a real
agenda.
Explicit agenda. Like this is what we're doing. They just seem to be like anti-good.
Well, like I said before, it's like they keep getting interrupted in the financing of whatever the grand plot's going to be, but they never really tell you what the grand plot's going to be.
They don't have a
It's like, oh, we're doing this crazy thing.
So
we're
maybe
impersonating the.
Maybe if they got one or two plans to go right for a while, then maybe they could get enough money to really get things rolling.
To get the big score.
Right.
But obviously, I guess just I mean, there's always been that kind of idea of like this private organization that exists outside of governments.
Did Dr. Evil's organization have a name, or was it just like Dr. Evil's group?
No,
I don't think it did.
No, it was just. I think it was just Dr. Evil. They had a company name.
Yeah, well, like Evil Enterprises.
Yeah, I think it was.
But that sort of thing, like
they're
for in differing degrees, there has always been that sort of idea of this organization that's existed in its own, within this sort of private sector, outside of governments and all of that.
Well, I think they've been there for other countries.
Yeah. I mean, it's the kind of thing that's that's been around for a long time, and it's not always as dramatic as it is in the movies. But obviously,
Right. Well, their job is to scare people, much like a horror movie. But we don't call them horrorists. We call them terrorists.
Horriblist.
We call them terrorists.
Horriblist.
Horriblist. In an act of horriblism.
Oddly, oh crap!
Great story.
The guy who played the original Frankenstein's monster,
Boris Karloff.
Boris Karloff.
Yeah.
He always said that they shouldn't call them horror movies; they should call them terror movies.
Oh, they are. There is terror in the aisles. Remember that movie? It was all the scenes.
The Tingler.
The Tingler.
William Castle.
They're Tinglerists.
Nothing like watching Vincent Price drop acid.
Oh boy. Well, Vincent Price has played some pretty good, well,
you could say the Theater of Blood. You could say he was a terrorist, but he was just a terrorist against Shakespeare theater critics.
Or
even the Abominable Dr. Phibes, where he's fighting the medical establishment that killed his wife.
That is a terror campaign.
Exactly, because his goal was to
that sort of thing. It is. Yeah, it is.
All I got to say is the scene in Theater of Blood where he's pretending to be the gay hairdresser is so awesome that it just defies explanation. Defies explanation. It's pure brilliance. The guy who's denied a Best Actor Oscar for that is beyond me.
It wasn't in the cards. He was screwed.
It's just the whole idea of using different deaths in Shakespearean plays to kill critics of Shakespeare plays was just I don't know, tickled my fancy.
Yes. Yeah, the two Dr. Phibes
so
movies.
Your fancy
I was just about to bring up Dr.
Really
Phibes.
Yeah, those are great.
Abominable Dr. Phibes, and was it Dr. Phibes Rises again?
Yeah, the two Dr. Phibes movies are great. But
the second one was more. I think the first one had more of a theme.
Yeah, the
second one was just kind
of a righteous coffin at the end of that thing.
Well, the second one you actually get to hear him sing "Somewhere Over the Rainbow" at the end, which is awesome.
When he's on the boat and he goes into the pyramid, the River of Life,
it's surprising singing "Somewhere Over the Rainbow" is
great stuff.
Good stuff.
But yeah, that's very much like one man waging a terror campaign against the people that he feels wronged him and his wife. Very much exactly.
So. And they're definitely, I guess you could consider part of the establishment.
Yeah. I mean, they're
medical profession.
They're upright, normal, regular, proper citizens. And he feels wronged, and he engages in exactly that sort of thing. It's large or small, whether it's one guy doing that or it's Cobra or Spectre or whatever. I mean that thing is there, and it's sort of like this, an organized campaign to attack what is considered the sort of regular, normal, proper social order. You know?
Right.
And
so are hippies terrorists?
I'd like to think so.
As far as I'm concerned, yes.
Yes, they are.
But I guess the people the people that felt the most directly threatened by them probably considered them that way.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you're detached from it, and you're not on either side of the conflict.
Well, yeah, I mean,
so
they're
to
more
speak.
goofballs to us than actual terrorists.
But I mean, the people that the people that were directly threatened by them, I'm sure they really viewed them as a realistic threat to their way. And go.
Yes, we do have an email from one of our listeners.
From our listener.
Hubba Hubba. This show's for you. Our fan from California. And from Hannah Norby, she says, hey guys, glad to see that you're recording. I've been listening to old episodes over and over again for weeks. I'm only in high school, but I've been listening to this show since.
All right. No. I mean that's an achievement in itself. Don't sell yourself short.
No, not at all.
Don't say you're only in high school.
To us.
And loved every minute. I still can't get any of my friends to listen, but I'm trying.
What do you look like? Sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
How do you get your friends to listen to this show? I can't get my friends to listen to this show.
I can't get my family.
I get my friends to be on the show.
My dad said he'd listen to it while playing video games.
Too.
Yeah, everybody here will be on the show, no problem. But Derek won't listen to it. Adam won't listen to it.
I'm just vain enough to listen to any episode I'm on.
Just vain enough. I actually edit the show, so I don't listen.
Okay. I downloaded it at work. I listen to usually the first.
You know what? We're like interrupting these sweet young ladies.
This is Hannah's moment.
Yeah,
we're being rude.
We apologize.
Well, it's a suggestion for future episode. Maybe you could discuss vampires and/or werewolves if that didn't fall under supernatural evil. I think that is a worthy topic.
Sure.
The gayest monster and the most manly monster. Vampires and werewolves.
Talking about like the Underworld episode?
Yes, indeed. The Underworld.
Like
I knew that was coming.
Because you know, well, that movie's like it's West Side Story with vampires and werewolves.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I thought it was just a vehicle
for Kate Beckinsale's ass.
Yes.
That's the only reason I watched it. But
I mean, if they'd have put that on the poster, I'd have bought that poster.
I DVR'd it and fast forward through all the parts that didn't show her ass in the tight vinyl outfit.
Oh my God!
I'm rolling through the whole movie.
I remember
no.
It was the week we did the other show. We were just standing.
We were watching the sequel.
Long, silent pauses in that show.
We were watching the sequel. We were watching Underworld Evolution on DVR, trying to find the parts with.
I actually think that's a good idea. The maybe more the vampires than the werewolves. But
well, I mean, we do have to kind of consider werewolves.
I could wear my frilly sleeves if we do the vampire
I
episode.
agree. I mean, I think
I have a velvet jacket, and we can all wear.
I'd say concentrate on werewolves.
Can we drink? Can we drink out of like wine glasses?
Can we be decadent?
I don't drink decadent.
Vine.
Don't
drink vine.
I like that idea.
We can be all decadent Euro trash.
I've got a leather jacket.
Right on.
They should include werewolves just because of the over-marketing of vampires.
It'll look like the VIP room at a Czech disco.
Werewolves are the Czech that vampires need.
Like a Czech dance club.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, who the hell else?
The Euro trash vampires.
The Catholics just aren't what they used to be, so you need werewolves to defeat vampires nowadays.
Oh, really?
I did see a guy at work that no shit wears a big, like, wooden cross.
Oh, jeez.
Like, on his, it's like a wooden cross on a metal chain.
You know, it was a little,
but there's a couple of people like that, and I mean, like, there's a dude that wears, like, a 2.5-inch metal cross on his chest, and I mean it's a big bling.
I saw Salem's Lot when I was like 10 years old, and I like grabbed the cross that was like on the necklace and like my mom's jewelry box and slept with it that night when I watched it.
Well, there's no need to wear a cross that big unless you're one of two things: either Madonna or
Mexican
or a vampire hunter. I mean,
Prince can probably get away with it.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, Prince is small enough he could like climb onto it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, she goes on to say also, what do you think of the idea of a large library as a bunker? Most of them have a fairly secure underground area for storing rare books, and the rest of the books are a source for both entertainment and technical information, as long as you don't break your glasses.
See, she stole my job.
Yeah, she's listening.
Cool.
She's
listening. She knows what the fuck's that.
The problem with that idea
high school girls, it's really like a 35-year-old man.
The problem with that idea is the access to the
because I run into those on the internet all the time.
I mean, you may be able to get into the library itself, but how are you going to get into the vault?
What secret vault is in the library?
There's no secret vault.
UL has the room in the basement with all the Edgar Rice Burroughs books.
Yeah, and the Playboys.
But I don't want to be trapped there forever because he sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. The first Tarzan book's pretty
Tarzan's good. Everything else is shit.
What is it, John? What's his name?
John Carter, Warlord of Mars.
God.
Princess of Mars. All that stuff is crap.
My dad actually had like the D&D led miniatures of John Carter, Warlord of Mars.
I don't want to be trapped in a room full of Edgar Rice
Burroughs. You can just raid the adjacent. Okay, yeah, we just ran out. We did the tape. I can't believe that we did that again. That's so crazy.
We didn't do anything.
I'm sorry. I recorded the show at the highest possible level.
So you could get all of the
we are actually
pure crystalline sonic quality
of discs of
something or other.
Yes,
gibberish.
Well, we
in quadraphonic sound.
We actually recorded in PCM wave for those technophiles out there that are
recorded in hi-fi.
Yes,
coming
indeed.
to you in stereo hi-fi.
But I wanted to finish the email from Hannah, and she says, "Just a thought. Keep up the good work."
What good work?
We went and got another disc.
I know we did the whole thing for that. I know.
Well, I mean,
well, thank you, Hannah. I appreciate we
appreciate you sending me. We're sorry that we interrupted every other sentence of the email with random
smart-ass comments. But
that's kind of like...
Well, you knew they were coming.
Kind of
but that's what I do. That's what I do.
I warned you.
I think Hannah...
That's what I do. No, but is there a vampire episode in the works?
There is a vampire episode in the works. It is coming along this season. This season is moving along rather well.
Yeah.
We are.
We just have to. We're gonna have to, gay it up a little bit for the.
Well, I think Hannah had a good idea when it came to the werewolves, though. I mean, you should at least, if not an episode, or include it in the vampires and something. But
I can't see how I couldn't end up in the episode because we'll talk about like modern treatises on vampires as well as.
I could talk about Kate Beckinsale for days.
Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein and Dracula and the wolf.
It's called Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. I have the boxer shorts. That's how
Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein boxer shorts?
Yes.
Where do you get those at?
Does it have Abbott on one
it's
cheek
like the movie poster.
Okay.
On the boxer shorts.
Oh wow, that's cool.
And I saw it at the what's the place downtown?
Blue Movies?
No.
Underwear Mart?
No, I think I saw Abbott and Costello beat Franken Dildo.
Franken Dildo.
I saw it at the Palace.
The Palace.
I watched it at the Palace.
Abbott and Costello meet Frankenhooker?
Frankenstein. He's a monster.
Yes, they don't meet Frankenstein.
That movie's great. We'll talk about it more.
But yes. The point is, Hannah. Yes, there is a vampire episode in the works. We've been discussing it for a while.
We're excited that a woman has actually listened to the show.
Well, there's a woman that listened to the show tonight. She's shaking her head in disgust, but yeah, she. The lovely Millie was here, bringing us beer.
Gosh, here we go, man.
Hey, man, she helped out. She made the light turn back on.
It went from nag.
I never went. And, oh my God! I never complain about my girl
Aphrodite
nagging.
has descended from the clouds
And brought me a beer. How good is that? I can't. Look, I got it good, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
So we're going right into the vampire episode.
Yeah, that's like y'all doing the vampire episode now.
We're already doing it. We're going straight in. We're going straight in.
See, I thought we were gonna have to work to gay it up for that, but really, we're already there.
We broke the rules. No Jews, no girls.
Wow, it's the first episode where I didn't make that joke.
It's terrible.
We had about a half-hour discussion about this before the show was going on. The jokes that we couldn't tell because they wouldn't be understood. Okay. They were going to get kicked off.
So,
the air.
final thoughts?
No, I don't have any final thoughts. Oh my God! Be good to each other.
I guess final thoughts are you should appreciate our counter-terrorist organizations because they've prevented the terrorist organizations from...
Our Ministry of Homeland Security is protecting you against Cobra.
Yes. And chaos.
And chaos.
Inspector.
They have got their hands full. So when your taxes get raised...
And the
Hydra.
Right.
And Venom.
And nihilists.
And nihilists.
Oh, yeah.
And German nihilists.
In any form of anything.
And Tulsa Doom.
Unabombers.
Thanks to the U.S. Navy SEALs and Delta Force. They're out there every day.
Listening to the show for some ungodly reason.
Against terrorism.
Protecting you against Destructomundo.
Well, if Lee Marvin's involved, I give up.
Well, isn't that a zombie episode?
What, Lee Marvin versus a zombie?
There was a.
I can't think of a greater movie than Lee Marvin versus a zombie.
There was there was a thread on military photos where they were showing like old school photos of Delta, and somebody showed one with oh shit, I can't remember his name. No, the guy that the guy that founded Delta.
Mr.
Beckwith.
Delta.
Charlie Beckwith. Yeah. Somebody like there was one of it was from Operation Eagle Claw,
what
Desert One.
Trevor Beckwith?
Charlie Beckwith.
Oh.
Colonel Charlie Beckwith, the guy that founded it. But there was a thread on there.
Doggy Style with Trevor Beckwith.
where they were showing like classic pictures, very few that are in existence. But there was a picture from from Desert One, from Operation Eagle Claw, which was the horribly failed mission to rescue the
hostages in
Iran.
Let's use Navy helicopters.
And
with Marine pilots.
but they showed there was a picture of Charlie Beckwith, and one of the guys was like, once they'd seen him, one of the guys was like, man, now I know why they got Lee Marvin to be in the movie, because like Beckwith was that like hardcore, like grizzled, old fucking badass looking dude. And they're all standing there like on the ramp going into a C-130, and they're all in like jeans and black turtlenecks and watch caps, and like that was the outfit that they wore back in the day.
Hannah's gonna love this part.
But
that's a hell of a
look. But somebody was like, but yeah, you can tell why they got Lee Marvin to play that hardcore badass.
They had to find somebody who was tougher than Chuck Norris. He was the only one that was available.
Sure.
Oh my God. So go out.
Well, that's the thing.
Show,
is like
buy yourself a camouflage ribbon, stick it to the bumper of your car or the back, whatever.
The Navy SEALs look like Charlie Sheen, and Delta Force look like Chuck Norris. SEALs have better hair. They have that amazing.
Yeah.
They have that amazing hair. They're all out there fighting terrorists every day. Yeah. God bless them.
God bless them. So yes, from Destructomundo, this is James.
Jeremiah.
Stuart.
Mike.
And Adam.
And me.
Good night.
Good night.
God bless.
Action! Everybody! Action! We're cold. Slither, you'll be joining us soon. A band of vipers playing our tune. With iron fists and a reptile hiss, we shall rule. What is that idiot doing? We've heard it before. We're not gonna play the game no more. Animals! To learn to resist, 'cause Cobra is strong. Oh my goodness, we're going way over budget. We're going barbarians!